let's understand what is the HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So we need to understand what is hypertext and what is a markup language. Okay, and why we need that. Okay, it is a standard markup language for creating web pages, and it defines the structure of a web page, and it has a lot of elements. Okay, it's all fine. So we have to understand what is markup language and why we need it. Okay, so let's take amazon.in. When I type amazon.in, I'm getting all many information here, right? We need to understand how we get this information, right? Okay, so this is usually our setup, right? We have a PC, we will have some router in our home which is connected to the internet. Through this router, we are getting internet connection, and we have to get data from Amazon server, right? When you type amazon.in, we are seeing a lot of information. That information is not there in our PC. What are the list of products and what are the prices of the products? All this information are available in the Amazon database. Okay, so we have to get this information to our PC. Now, how you do that? The information is in some other system, so we need to make a request to the system to get the data. So that request going over the internet to our Amazon web server, right? That request is called HTTP request. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay. So once you send a request, what the Amazon server does it sends a response or HTTP response, right? In the response, it sends the data. What all the data we need, right? It sends the data. So if you just display the data just like that, right, it don't look good, right? Some data has to be highlighted, some coloring some styling has to be given, all the things has to be done, right? So suppose we have a set of data, right? Suppose we have data one, suppose we have data two, so list of data is coming, okay? Suppose I want to display this data in a bold format, and I want to display this data in a different font. Okay, so this data is coming. So where this data is getting displayed in the PC? In the browser, right? The browser displays the data, right? This is the browser, right? The browser displays the data. So some data, see, some is in big bold letter, some data is something, and some small picture is there. Okay, so before displaying the data, right, we have to mark the data of how to display it, right? Usually in our school, we do mark, right? We mark 1 mark, 2 mark, right? We mark like this, right? We put a bracket like this, and we mark this is 1, this is 2 mark, and this is 3 mark or 4 mark. Like this, we have to mark the data. How you mark the data is using tags. Suppose I want to display in a bigger format, I use a tag like H1. This is a starting tag, and this is a closing tag. Okay, this is H1. So what the data will be coming, so this, how to mark it, there's a language for it, and that is what is HTML. This is a text. We are marking the text using tags. This language of marking the text is called HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. This is not a programming language. It's a markup language which is used to mark the text. Okay, and once you mark the test, you'll send this data in the response to your browser. What the browser does, browser sees this tags, and then what it does is it constructs something called as DOM, which is document object model. Okay, it is another form of the document. Your HTML file is a document, right? It has a data, and this document is converted into another form, which is called as DOM. We will see more detailed info about the DOM in the later videos. But for now, you understand that this is another form of a document. You are representing this document in another form for easy manipulation in the browser. The browser constructs the DOM. It reads the HTML file. It sees what is H1 tag, all these things. It constructs a document, and then from the document, it based on the tag, it displays the information. Right? If it is H1 tag, it displays bigger. If it is H6, it displays smaller. Okay, so Learning HTML is nothing but we have to learn what are the different tags available. Inside the tags, right, we can give attribute. So inside H1, some attributes can be given like ID is equal to head, some attributes can be given inside the tag, right? So we have to learn what are the different tags available, what are the different attributes available for the different tags, for what attributes, how the browser will behave. This complete thing, right? The starting tag, the ending tag, this is the content, this is the attribute, right? This complete thing is called a HTML element. Okay, so we need to understand the different tags used, different attributes used, um, mm, and so this is the thing you have to learn in this HTML, and that is what is HTML. So this is W3 schools, and um, if you go to W3 schools, you can click on HTML. If you just go over to understand the different tags available, what are the different tags, and it's easy and you can learn fast. It is recommended that you need not go through other videos. See, if you go to the last, right, it will display the different tags available, okay, and other things will be available here. So if you just go over W3 schools, and that thing that should be enough, okay. And see, in I recommend to use VS Code editor, okay. You can create a file HTML, just type exclamation mark and type enter. You will get the basic HTML code, okay. So it has a element doc type which specifies what type of document is this. This is a HTML document, and you have a all the content of your HTML will be closed in this HTML tag, okay. And the language used here is English. And in the head tag we have the metadata. Basically tells information about your data will be there in the body, okay. I can have some h1 tag, and you can type bala is good, okay. This is the data for us, right? It tells information about the data, okay. So the character set used is UTF-8, okay. So UTF-8 is basically Unicode transformation format. What is Unicode is, Unicode is basically, um, see, in computer you are seeing different English letters, you are seeing Tamil letters, you are seeing Chinese letters, right? All those letters are there, right? So these letters have to be stored in the computer. So if these letters has to be stored in the computer, it has to be converted to binary, because computers can store only zeros and ones. So to convert into binary, each letter has to be converted to a number. Then only it has to be converted to a binary. So Unicode is a standard to convert every character to a number. Okay. And Unicode transformation format 8 is basically encoding of Unicode, right? Representing a Unicode number in a different format, right? That is UTF-8. And the metadata you're using, other metadata is the name is viewport. Okay. The purpose of this is, so viewport is a visible area of a web page, right? This is a web page. This is a visible area of a web page. That is a viewport. Okay. So this varies from device to device, right? For a laptop, it is big. For a mobile device, it will be a little small. For a tab, it is different, right? So when you give a name viewport, you give the content with which you go to device with. Okay. So what happens is um, your page will get rendered based on the width of your device, okay. And the initial scaling is just 1.0. So with this gives a instruction to your browser, right? How to control the dimensions of your page, how to control the width of your page, right? So this is kind of giving instruction to your browser. So the width part says the width of the page to follow the screen width of the device. So this tells the browser to set the width of the page to the width of your screen width of your device. And that is what the main thing of this viewport, right? The viewport is your visible area of your web page, okay. So and you can zoom, right? The initial scale, you can zoom into your web page, zoom out, right? The initial zoom is 1.0, right? This is the initial zoom level. So this is what you are setting here as part of this. And title as document is gives the title for your web page, right? It shows, it displays in your um, in your browser. Like go live, there's a go live button is there. When I click go live, right, there's a server will get started in this port number. So 127.0.1 is the loopback IP address of our laptop, and this is the port number where the server is running, and index.html is our file, and I'm getting displayed here. The Bala is good. Okay. See if you see here, okay, if you see here, document is coming, right? Document is there. This is coming because of this title. Okay. Okay. If I put Bala here and save, this will be changed to Bala. This is a title which comes in your web page. So this is the basic of HTML, and anything you learn in this course, it is strongly advised to clearly understand anything you learn, right? Suppose you learn HTML, you have to understand what is HTML, what is a markup language means, and why you have to study that, because only if you mark your content, the page will be displayed in a pleasant manner. So you have to mark your content for the browser to understand what data to display and how to display the data. Okay, so it is for the browser to display data accordingly. That is why you learn HTML and how HTML, right? What tags to use, what are the different attributes. Okay, those are the things you need to learn, and you can learn from your W3 schools itself. Different tags available and things.